From architecture to painting and sculpture, literature to live music and theater. Radio 111 presents Bonnie G and Brian Mendoza with The Desert Scene, your connection to culture and entertainment in the desert cities. Here's Bonnie and Brian.
And welcome to The Desert Scene. I'm Bonnie G here with Brian Mendoza, my producer and partner in crime. And we're so happy to welcome to The Desert Scene today Edmund Bagnell, who is going to be featured on Thursday, June 2nd at 7 p.m. as part of the Theater Thursdays program at CV Rep. Hi, Edmund. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Good, good. So this looks so exciting. The show is he plays the violin. You're an international violinist and vocalist telling your uplifting life journey through music. So you both play and sing as well, correct?
That's right, which, is apparently a rare combo. But I think it makes sense because the violin was developed to sound like the human voice. So I think the two go hand in hand.
Okay. Yes. And you are a member of the internationally acclaimed group Well Strung. I love that. That's such a great name.
Thank you.
By the way, my partner Eric is a professional violinist and professional pianist, and so he plays fiddle in a country band and classical violin with a symphony. So I get that whole thing, and I know you do that. Your material ranges from classical to standards to Broadway, and some fiddle thrown in as well. Correct?
Totally. I mean, that's what I love about the violin. The first image that comes to mind is, classical violin and, the concert hall look. But, you think of pop music and, strings and country, it's integral. And pop music and violin with pop music, it really runs all throughout these different genres. So I love exploring everything that violin can do.
So did you start playing very young?
Oh, yeah. I was 7 years old, and my grandparents got me a violin, and I just started messing around with it, and I kept messing around with it enough. My parents were like, okay, I guess we better get him in some lessons, and just kept on up with it. Here I am.
And did you start singing about the same time?
Oh, God. I mean, like what all kids kind of sing. But no, seriously, though, in high school, I went to an arts boarding school. And if you were a music major, so to speak, you had to be in choir. And that's when I really started, taking voice seriously and taking lessons. And then, I studied all throughout college. And, being in New York City, I went to NYU. I would audition for, theater, because I was here, in the theater capital of the world. So I'd do summer stock in Georgia, and then I'd go off to violin camp right after that this summer. So I always kind of had the two together, performing as a vocalist and performing as a violinist.
Yeah. So tell us how you put together this particular show. He plays the violin. So this is a mix of you both playing violin and singing as well?
That's right. Gosh, really, this is a chance to just cover kind of all the music that I love and really makes me happy as a musician. And I just love performing this music so much. So that was kind of the guiding light when choosing, what I wanted my repertoire to be for this show. Just, what speaks to me and what are things that I've always wanted to do. So I was with the band Well Strung, for a long time. We're still together. And that kind of had its own parameters, shall we say, just being four members and, kind of what suited us as a group. So me going off and doing my solo show, it was really a chance to be like, okay, this is all this material that I've been sitting on for years that, wasn't quite right for Well Strung, but I've always wanted to do. So
and this is kind of your life journey through music. And by the way, conceived by Mark, is it Cortale? Cortale, am I saying that correctly?
That's right.
That's
absolutely right.
So you kind of sat down with him and sat down and said, okay, here, I want to tell my story, and then we're going to, and also choosing the music. So this was a collaborative effort with him?
Well, for sure. And also I should mention, I worked with the director, Michael Scarali, out of New York City, who's wonderful. Mark, he actually is in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and I had approached him, saying I'd wanted to, maybe do something like this, and he put together this kind of new work showcase in Massachusetts in the fall, just before COVID. And so I went up there for a week with me and my director and my music director, and we just had this really intense, 9-hour days of, working on all these different music and putting together these arrangements and putting together this show. And then at the end of the week, I got to perform it twice, and that's where it all began.
And Do you have a go? I know as a violinist, I don't know if this is. I'm a singer as well, but as far as the violin, do you have a sort of a go-to piece? I mean, maybe you can pick categories. Whether it's Broadway, classical. If someone says you're at a party or something, or you got music out, and someone says, "Edmund, please play something." Do you have a sort of a go-to musical piece?
That's a good one. I love Mozart. I love Mozart, and also I love Copland. And he did like Appalachian Spring and Rodeo and kind of all these like iconic Americana pieces. That's a genre that really speaks to me. I love Americana. Copland's a little more difficult to perform by myself, but Mozart. I'll always whip out some Mozart at a party if asked.
What about like pop or Broadway stuff? Do you have a favorite tune that you do on the violin in those categories?
Oh gosh, well, it's kind of trying to pick your favorite child or something. But, something that is very dear to me is I love Sondheim. When I was in my senior year of college, I was auditioning again for theater, and I got cast in the first national Broadway tour of Sweeney Todd. So, got to work with Sondheim and John Doyle, the great director, and the cast was wonderful. So that was a show where I also used my violin and sang. So I performed that in my show because that combo is very dear to me. So I do Big Sondheim medley, and I do Not One Around, which was my big song from Sweeney Todd when I was playing Toby. Yeah.
Now, so do you have a combo that backs you in this particular show? He plays the violin.
Sorry, how do you mean?
So you have a combo. You have a band, a group behind you on the show.
Got it. Yes, I do. Yes, and I'll be music directed by the great Mark Hartman, who's absolutely fantastic on piano, and we're traveling on to Vegas after this. So, I've played with Mark many, many times, and he's just wonderful.
And do you both, since you sing and play violin, do you practice both every day? Are you one of those people that vocalizes every day and pulls out the violin every day, even if you don't have a show coming up?
That's a good one. I probably sing more than I practice the violin. Just because it's easy to just you're in the shower and it's fun to sing.
Yeah.
The violin, I am playing regularly enough that it's true. I am kind of always practicing on something, always working on something. But in a way, I think I more casually practice singing inadvertently, just because it's easy to sing in the car,
right?
Wherever you are.
Will this be your first time performing in Palm Springs, or have you been out here before?
No, I've been out several times with Well Strung. Although I don't know that we ever actually performed a public show. It was either for like kind of a fundraiser benefit kind of thing, or like a party. I performed in Palm Springs with another show I developed called Happy Days Are Here Again last winter, I suppose, just a few months ago. So that was a lot of fun. I love Palm Springs so much, and I'm so excited to get back.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Winding this down, but when you go to see other people, but either as other musicians or other singers, what do you like to see? If you're in the audience and you're watching a performer, what do you like to see from someone else?
Oh, gosh. I think it is completely inspiring to watch other performers, and I think it makes me perform better to be, see somebody be like, wow, they're really up there killing it. I think it's kind of a broader term, but when somebody just clearly loves the music that they're performing and it's really connecting with it and kind of being truthful. I know that's kind of a cheesy term, but, they're really performing the music with integrity, and, it's about serving the music, really. So they're being truthful and that they're performing it well,
and maybe a connection,
is intended.
Feeling a connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That really moves me to be in the audience and just see that.
Yeah. Well, Edmund Bagnell, he plays the violin is the name of the show. It's Thursday, June 2nd, 7 p.m. CV Rep. It's part of their Theater Thursdays program. You can get tickets at www.cvrep.org. Well, Edmund, congratulations. Sounds like a wonderful show. I'm sure you're going to have a great crowd. And welcome back to Palm Springs. I hope you have a great time while you're here. And thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right, Edmund Bagnell, go see his show. He plays the violin at CV Rep, and we'll see you next time on The Desert Scene.